Assalamu alaikum. Today Surah Nas was recited, which means mankind, and it has 6 verses. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Say, I take refuge with the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, the God of mankind, from the evil of the slinking whisperer, who whispers evil into the hearts of mankind, and among jinn and mankind. Salawat.
Next we have Sister Aliza.
Today we will be talking about Surah Nas, which means mankind. It is chapter number 114 of the Holy Quran, has 6 verses, and was revealed in Makkah. The human is always exposed to devilish temptations, and the satans of jinn and men try to penetrate into his heart. The higher the standard of his knowledge and degree of his social position, the more intense the temptations of the satans will be, until they divert him from his straight way and send him astray. The surah commands the holy prophets as a leader and as an example to seek refuge with Allah from the evil of any temptations. At any moment it is possible that one may go astray, and when Allah bids his apostle to take refuge with the Lord from the evil of the slinking whisperer, it is an evidence that becoming involved in the trap of the tempters who whisper evil in people's minds is possible. Everyone should seek refuge with Allah as their king and owner, invoking his authority over the affairs of men. That is, he is one who can independently act over his creation to seek their protection by invoking the divinity of the Lord as the God of mankind, for it is his authority which must necessarily he obeyed, it is his command or his will which is always done. O Allah, protect us all from the evil of every tempter and dark inspiration. Ameen. Salawat.
Salawat. آدم تو وقتی که عاشق نباشه، با عشق شوق چشمش تر نبیشه. منم دعوت شدم مهمون هستم، برام حسه از این بهتر نمیشه. خوشحالی یعنی روز اولی باشی، عاشق علی باشی، مارم از اون باشه. خوشبختی یعنی نون حلال بابا، مهر حضرت زهرا تو خونمون باشه. مثلا منتظر از اون افطارم، رو ظرف آب سفرمون نشونم میذارم. بگم حسین تشنه لب خیلی دوست دارم. ماها نقلی خونه و زندگیمون، مثل افطارهامون صفا ساده است. شاید کم به نظر بیاد ولی خب عوضش سفرمون با برکت است. آرامش یعنی امیدت خدا باشه، دلت کربلا باشه، بمونی پای حسین. آرامش یعنی خنده باش رو لبات، یعنی ببارن چشمات فقط برای حسین. اول ماه رمضان تا روز آخر، وقتی خیلی تشنمه گفته بهم مادر، بگم حسین، بگم فدای خشکی لب علی اصغر من سحر منتظر از این افطارم ظرف آب سفرمون نشونه میذارم بگم حسین تشنه لب خیلی دوست دارم صلوات.
Good job, Zahra. Good job. Please recite another salawat for Zahra Jan. Good job. Please recite a salawat for the brothers and sisters who recited. Sister Zahra, brother Abdullahat, and sister Aliza. Please recite a loud salawat. So tonight after the lecture, inshallah, we have the Quran competition. We encourage everyone to please be here. Encourage the kids who are participating in the Quran competition. It will be after the lecture inshallah. امشب بعد از سخنرانی برنامه مسابقات قرآن کریم است. کودکان و نوجوانانی که اشتراک میکنن از تمام بزرگواران خواهش میکنیم که اگر وقت دارین میتونین بسیار خوب است برای تشویق ازی جوانان و نوجوانان و کودکانی که اشتراک میکنن در مسابقه قرآن کریم اگر وقت دارین اشتراک کنین انشالله هم ثواب براتون میشه و هم اطفال و نوجوانانی که اشتراک میکنن تشویق میشن. Without further ado, please help me welcome Sheikh Mahdi Dardashty to the member with a loud salawat.
سلام علیکم و رحمت الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. الحمد لله رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی اشرف الانبیاء والمرسلین حبیب قلوبنا و طبیب نفوسنا ابی القاسم المصطفى محمد و آل محمد و علی آل بیته الطیبین الطاهرین المعصومین المکرمین سیما بقیت الله فی الارضین و لعن الدائم علی اعدائهم اجمعین من حین اداوتهم الی قیام یوم الدین. رب اشرح لی صدری و یسر لی امری واحلل عقدة من لسانی یفقهوا قولی. الهی انطقنی بالهدی و الهمنی التقوی. عرض سلام و ادب دارم محضر شما. My salams, my respect and my devotion goes to all the community members of Az-Zahra Center of Albany. Forgive my shortcomings. Forgive me if the lectures were lengthy, if it didn't add anything to your knowledge, if these nights I could have done it better, and I tried. I can't say I tried my best, but I tried. Well, every good moment, every good period has an end. This is the life of dunya, and this is my last night. Inshallah, I'll be traveling tomorrow, so I would like to take this opportunity to seek forgiveness, talab halaliyat bukonim az shuma, and inshallah bid farewell to you. Inshallah, this is not going to be our final meetup. It wouldn't be my final visit to Albany community. Inshallah, I get the tawfiq and the honor to be blessed by being present before you, inshallah, in the coming future. Today, something amazing happened, and that was the earthquake. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to describe Yawm al-Qiyamah, one of the signs of Qiyamah is that, have you looked at the descriptions of the Holy Quran? It says, the mountains, those hard rocks, will start to shatter, will start to turn into parts, pieces, like pieces of cottons. We didn't expect it. How many of you noticed actually the actual earthquake? How many of you were awake or were paying attention, or you were paying attention at that time, you noticed it. It's very scary. It was very scary. Some of you might have gone through earthquake in the past. Oh, I was not scared. Mamnunam, Mahdi jan. I was not scared. Then, should I pray Salatul Ayat? Of course you should. It's not Salatul Khawf. It's Salatul Ayat. It's embracing the verses and the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. You're so powerful and we're nothing. With all these technologies and advancements, yet we have no way to anticipate, to forecast earthquake. There's no way for us to do it. It comes and it destroys. یه نکته من در مورد اطفال بگم. به من بعضیا گلایه کردن، گفتن حاج آقا شما گفتید بچه ها راحت باشن و شیطونی کنن و اینا، کار از دست ما خارج شده دیگه، ما هیچ جوره نمیتونیم کنترل کنیم. من عرضم این نبود که ما بچه ها رو به بی‌نظمی سوق بدیم. ما باید کاری بکنیم که بچه ها راحت باشن توی این فضا و آروم آروم ادب مجلس رو یاد بگیرن. باشون سخت نمیگیریم. من دیسترکت نمیشم. هر چقدر بازی کنن من دیسترکت نمیشم موقع سخنرانی. ولی این معنیش نیست که ما اونها رو دیگه کلاً نسبت بهشون هیچ خیالی نداشته باشیم و فکری نداشته باشیم. این جلو هم من دیشب با مصطفی گفتم این پله ها واقعا واسه بچه ها خطرناکه. حالا هم مسجد یه فکری بکنه، بعدن انشالله اینا رو یه مقدار بپوشن، هم پدر مادرام مراقب باشن، مخصوصا موقع نماز که همه مشغول نمازیم، یه نفر والنتیر بشه، مواظب بچه ها باشه، مراقبشون باشه، یا هر پدر مادری بچه های پسر پیش پدرها باشن، دختر خانمان پیش مادر، تقسیم وظایف بکنیم و موقع نماز کنارمون نماز بخونن. بهشون جایزه بدید. وقتی که باهاتون نماز خوندن بگن اگه نماز جماعت خوندید من بهتون جایزه میدم. ولی با مهربونی بذارید مسجد، عزیزان من، بزرگواران، یه جای جذاب واسه بچه ها باشه. Make the masjids to be in a way that your kids grab you to the masjid, not you forcing them to follow you to come to masjid. Make this place to be a house for them. In fact, the reason why they play around is that because they feel safe here. They don't feel endangered. If they feel they're strangers, if they feel they're in danger, they do what? They pick a corner and go to the blindest spot and hide, right? The fact that they freely play is a good sign. It is that they feel safety and security. They feel it's like home, which is what we really want. But as we should be very tolerant towards them and we should be really kind with them. This is the sunnah of Rasulullah. This is the tradition of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As we do that, at the same time, we have to gradually teach them the etiquettes of attending masjid, the etiquettes of some of the centers you go, some of the cultures, during the lecture you don't even hear a little noise. Everybody is listening without a blink of eye, and that focus is there, and that helps the speaker to not get too distracted. But let's get back to our discussion. Earthquake, snowstorm, storm itself, thunderstorm, you name it, flooding, all of those are signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to prove to us again, or to remind us that, hey, you are absolutely nothing. COVID, a handful of virus basically stopped the entire world from functioning. Do you remember the very first days of COVID? People were so horrified and scared that they were not even communicating with each other. I had actually one sister, she's a mother. She was saying, my kids do not even give me a phone call to check on me, how am I doing. Is the phone a mean for the transmission of the virus? Right? People were so disconnected and isolated and scared. Ya ayyuhal insan, the Holy Quran says, Ma qarraka bi rabbikal karim. What has made you so arrogant to your Lord? Do you need a reminder? I'll give you a reminder. The earthquake today. Do you need another reminder? Eclipse is coming. It's one of the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By that you should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you should not forget that there is a day that if any of these natural disasters would continue and go on for a longer period, there will be no life on the face of the earth. There will be no life. Do you think it's difficult for Allah to do that? By seeing those incidents, by seeing those events, remind yourself of the destiny that you have ahead of you. Do not invest all of your attempts for this dunya. As the verse in the 25th surah, which some of you, or maybe all of you, have recited today, it says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I first read the verse to you and then do the translation, inshallah. من كان يريد حرث الآخرة نزد له في حرثه ومن كان يريد حرث الدنيا نؤته منها وما له في الآخرة من نصيب. Question is this: have you ever planned your next year? Your next month? What about the eternity that you have ahead of yourself? Have you had any sort of plannings for that too, or not? This verse says what? It says, Man kana yuridu harth al-akhirah. Whoever wants to have harth means the fruit of, the product of, right? The product of the hereafter, which is endless, which is unlimited. It is infinity. Wants that from his works, from his deeds, meaning that he sees the eternity that he has ahead. Nazid lahu fi harthih. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I contribute with him in this production, in this process, and we increase it, meaning that we grant them the result, the consequence of their deed, both. We make it excess, we expand it, and he sees the results of it both in this dunya and in the akhirah and in the hereafter. We increase it. My intention is this: I'm studying this certain degree, I'm working that certain job, not just because I look at my dunya, but also I see that this duty that I'm doing, this occupation that I'm working, this certain responsibility that I have will not only have worldly impacts, but the impacts of that will stay with me forever. And then, وَمَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ حَرْثَ الدُّنْيا. On the other hand, the one who wants a worldly product, sees the world as the limitation, looks and considers death as the end, and wants to take the fruits of what he does only in this dunya. My intention is this: I go and study in school, my only and main intention. I go and become a doctor, I go and become an engineer, I pursue that certain program. So what? So that I can earn this amount of money annually, and then I can, purchase that house with it, get that car with it, do this and that. In Islam, we say, if you do something, make sure your intention includes the eternity that you have ahead. Because the Holy Quran says this, says, the barakah will leave your life. Your life will become barakat-less. There will be no barakat anymore. When your intention is solely focusing on the life of this dunya, what happens? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whoever wants to only receive the worldly fruits of his work, what we do? نُؤْتِهِ مِنْهَا. I am generous. Oh, I spent 5 years, I studied in the school, I got my degree. Yeah, sure. You worked so hard, you were able to purchase that property. You worked so hard, you were able to purchase that possession of this dunya. نُؤْتِهِ مِنْهَا. We'll give it to him. You tried hard. You deserved it. But hey, it's only this dunya. نُؤْتِهِ مِنْهَا. We will give him a portion of this dunya. Alright, have it. A limited achievement, a limited outcome. And whatever the magnitude and amount of it is. And then the rest of it is scary. It says, وَمَا لَهُ مِنَ الْآخِرَةِ مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِن نَصِيبٍ. He has no sustenance, no provision. Imagine if I get invited to Albany and my intention is that I look at this as a job, not a duty, not a service. I say, you know what, I'm going to work. Right? And if the center decides to pay me, there's no contract, right? Or not pay me. If my intention is that financial intention, on the day of judgment, I'll be like, oh Allah, I dedicated my Ramadan for you. I went there for tabligh. The answer is going to be like, no. You looked at it as a job and you went there. And you received what you received. It's all about intentions, brothers and sisters. Meaning that the connection between what you achieve from your deeds is, that connector is called intentions. It's the intention that gives meaning to your actions. That's why we have this term, al-a'malu bin-niyat. Deeds are dependable upon the intentions. It's the intentions that define good deeds from bad deeds. Sometimes you do something good, it looks really good, but the intention behind that good deed makes that work to become totally corrupt. I pray the appearance of this action and deed is prayer, but my intention is to show off, so that other people appreciate me. I've made it go in vain and waste. Wasted. It's been said that one person was reciting salat with a beautiful recitation and qira'ah one time. And a sheikh passed by him, said in a very low voice to the one who was accompanying him that this brother was reciting very beautifully. Have you heard this joke? All of a sudden he stops, he breaks his salat and says, oh, I have gone to Hajj twice too. That is not the only thing that I do. His entire intention from beautiful recitation of the Holy Quran was so that other people will appreciate them. My entire intention from doing that certain deed which looks good is dunya, is that credibility, is that fame that comes with it. The Holy Quran describes these people in a very, very, very scary and horrific way. It says, هل ينبئكم بالأخسرين أعمالا. Do you want me to inform you who are the ones who face the most of the harm in this life of dunya? Do you want to know who are they? It says this, الذين, they are the ones, ظل سعيهم في حياة الدنيا. The ones who allocated, who gathered, who deviated all of their strivings, sa'yahum, for the hayat of dunya, forgetting about the akhirah. Agha, sisters, brothers, that is us. Life in here pushes you towards negligence with regards to the akhirah. You're so busy with works, paying bills, doing this and that. All of a sudden you're old, and all of a sudden you have to detach yourself from dunya. Even when you get to that age, you're still worried about this dunya. That hirs, that tama gets even more intensified, gets amplified when you're older. Let me collect more. Oh, death is ahead of you. That journey is coming up. وَمَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ حَرْثَ الْآخِرَةِ نُؤْتِهِ مِنْهَا. Meaning that they get what they deserve in this dunya, but there's nothing else for them in the hereafter. But if someone sees akhirah and works for their akhirah, not only we grant them this dunya and success in this dunya, because the wrong assumption, the misconception is that if you're mu'min, you should live like a poor person in a miserable life. That is not the case. Not at all. Not at all. Do not forget your nasib and provision from this dunya. Amir al-Mu'minin Nahjul Balagha says, dunya is a great opportunity for awliya Allah. Ad-dunya matjaru awliya Allah. Dunya is a trade market for the friends of Allah. What do they trade? Their work is amal salih. They spend and they trade their life, the energy that they have, with amal salih. What is amal salih? It is the right deed performed in the right time. And then they added the third condition to it. It's under the guidance of a divine leader, which is the imam. Right? So it's, let's say, when it's the time of adhan, if you do not have something urgent, a matter of life, put that aside. If it is not urgent, more urgent than the salat, yes, can there be situations that they come to be in more, they can be more emergency than the salat? Yes, of course. Yes, of course. If I'm standing by the river and I see someone fell into the river and is they're drowning and you can somehow rescue them, it's haram for you to pray. You have to go rescue them first. And there are situations of this type that in those moments you have to postpone your salat, right? Your amal salih, your right deed in the right time is something else. But figuring out and discovering what is your amal salih is difficult. Oh, my brother spoke in a very bad way with me. What is my amal salih now? You have to discover. Do you have to make an attempt to reconcile with them? Is that what Allah wants from you? Or do you have to continue this connection with them? My mother-in-law was mean to me. My father-in-law did this to me. What is my duty? My parents did this to me. What is my duty? Figure out your amal salih. Look after your amal salih. Right deed in the right time. Praying salat is the right deed. But if you do not do it in the right time, it's going to become qada. Figuring out what amal salih is. Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam says in Nahjul Balagha, ad-dunya matjaru awliya Allah. It's a trade place. It's a trade center for the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're constantly exchanging the na'amat and the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed them with in exchange for amal salih. And not only they construct their dunya, but also they're investing to construct their akhirah as well. Oh Allah, as we approach the final days of the month of Ramadan, as we are approaching the Eid Sa'id Fitr, the great feast of all the mu'mineen, of all the Muslimin, Eid al-Fitr, oh Allah, grant us the opportunity to intensify, grant us tawfiq and prosperity to be able to intensify our belief in Yawm al-Qiyamah. If someone says, I believe in God, yet they do not have any sort of faith in Yawm al-Qiyamah, that there is a day of judgment, that there is a day that the accounts of people will come under review by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that means their tawheed is weak too. Because these two are not separable. Belief in the day of Qiyamah, belief in the day of judgment, belief that there's life after death, there is hereafter, in comparison to someone who just claims that, oh, I believe that there's a God, but I don't believe in day of judgment. Don't you get that? From the people that you meet at work or other places? What do you think of hereafter? And then all of a sudden then you explain your belief to them, they're like, nah, I don't believe in a day of judgment. That means you don't believe in anything. Because if there's no day of judgment, then all the preaching and tabligh of all the anbiya and all the a'imma would be in vain. They all came and said, وَاتَّقُوا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ, be considerate of Yawm al-Qiyamah that is about to come. Recite the salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. چون ما باید تا 10:30 تموم بکنیم که به مسابقه قرآن برسیم و من دیشب روایتی رو خدمتتون تقدیم کردم، اگر خاطرتون باشه در مورد شیطان هم بود، اولیش در مورد خود خدا بود. گفتیم که امیرالمومنین علیه السلام فرمودن که من جمع از 6 خصالن، کسی این 6 تا خصلت رو در وجودش جمع بکنه، لم یدعو للجنت مطلبا، بهشت رهاش نمیکنه، ولا عن النار مهربا، اصلا جهنم هم فراریش میده، تو جهنم هم جایی نداره. اولیش چی بود؟ عرف الله فاطاعه، خدا رو بشناسه، خدا شناسی کنه و او خدا رو اطاعت بکنه. خداشناسی هم نیاز به کتاب خوندن وحشتناک و مطالعه های خیلی طولانی و عمیق نداره. خداشناسی نیاز به عمل داره. عمل بکنیم خدا رو میشناسیم. به اون چیزی که عمل خدا بهمون یاد داده الان عمل بکنیم، علممون و خداشناسیمون میره بالا. روایت داریم من عمل به ما یعلم، کسی که عمل بکند به آن چیزی که میداند. چیکار میکنه خدا؟ کی میدونه بقیه روایت رو؟ علمه الله ما لم یعلم، خدا اون چیزی رو که نمیدونه بهش آموزش میده. خدا میشه معلمش. خدا میشه معلمش. حاج آقا من نیاز داره حوزه برم؟ نه عزیزم. نیاز داره سخنرانی زیاد گوش بدم؟ نه عزیزم. شما نیاز داری، من نیاز دارم به اون چیزی که همین الان میدونم و خلافش عمل میکنم تغییر بدم، به اون چیزی که میدانم عمل بکنم. خدا میگه بعد من میشم معلمش. علمه الله ما لم یعلم. چقدر خوب خدا معلم آدم بشه. اون علمی که خدا به سینه آدم قرار بده، به جان آدم بشونه، جنسش نوره. میگه العلم نورون، علم نوری است که یقذفه الله فی قلوب من یشاء، خدا میندازه به قلب کسی که دوستش داشته باشه، که دلش بخواد. خب کیو خدا دلش میخواد؟ کسی که ازش اطاعت بکنه دیگه. شما به عنوان پدر مادر تو خونه، درسته پدر میگه من همه بچه‌هامو دوست دارم، مادر میگه من همه بچه‌هامو دوست دارم، ولی قلباً کدوم بچه رو بیشتر دوست دارید؟ اونی که بیشتر به حرف شما گوش بده، بیشتر از شما اطاعت کنه. آقا میفهمانی اولیش. دومیش خدا رو شناخت اطاعت بکنه. خب برای اینکه در امان بمونه از آفات، از ویروس ها، از بلاها، از امتحان ها. و عرف شیطان و عصاه، شیطان رو هم بشناسه، دشمن شناسی کنه، تاریکی ها رو بشناسه و از اون نافرمانی کنه. هر جا فهمید صدا صدای شیطانه، هر جا فهمید ندا ندای هوای نفسه، اونجا قد علم بکنه، قیام بکنه، مواظبت کنه، به حرف شیطان گوش نده. و عرف الباطل فاتقاه و عرف الحق فاتبعه، هم حق رو بشناسه هم باطل رو. باطل رو بشناسه، ازش پرهیز بکنه. در زمان بنی امیه اومدن گفتن آقا در مورد خوبی ها حرف بزنید، در مورد بهشت و اینها حرف بزنید، کسی در مورد جهنم چیزی نگه، آیات عذاب و کسی نگه. یه اسلام رحمانی این مدلی. در مورد خلافت کسی حرف در این زمینه حرف نزنه، در اون زمینه حرف نزنه. میگه که و عرف الباطل فاتقاه، یه خطکش داشته باش، با این خطکش حق و باطل رو بشناس. اون خطکش چیه؟ دستورات ائمه علیهم السلامه، دستورات پیامبره. هر حرکتی که مقابل حقیقت اسلام باشه باطله، هر حرکتی که همسوی حقیقت اسلام باشه حقه. میگه باطل رو فتقا، یعنی نه یاریش بکن، نه تو جریانش بیفت، نه سیاهی لشکرش بشو. امروز روز قدس بود، مسئله فلسطین، مسئله مظلومیت این مردم. حاج آقا من کانفیوز هستم، اینا سنی هن و اصلا ما تکلیف داریم از اینا دفاع؟ بله، سنی هم نبودن یهودی هم بودن ما باید ازشون دفاع میکردیم. اگر مردم ساکن غزه بیدین بودن بازم باید ازشون دفاع میکردیم، چون مظلوم واقع شدن، چون دستور اهل بیت علیهم السلامه. اینجا دیگه مسئله اسلام نیست، مسلمون بودنشون قصه ما رو بیشتر میکنه که اینا مظلومن، ولی مسئله اسلام. اگر مسیحی بودن یهودی بودن باید ازشون دفاع میکردیم. و عرف الحق فاتبعه، حق رو بشناسه و ازش تبعیت کنه. یه موقعی هست مثل همین ماجرای فلسطین و غزه و اینها که مسئله روشنه، حق و باطل خیلی روشنه دیگه، کار سختی نیست. یه جایی مثل جنگ احد، مرز بین پیامبر و مقابلینشون، کسایی که مخالفشون جلوشون وایستن، خیلی معلومه. اینجا کار سخت نیست. کجا کار سخت میشه؟ یه جایی که دو طرف ندای حق دارن، اونجا کار سخت میشه. ما بهش میگیم فتنه. کجا؟ مثلا جنگ جمل، این طرف امیرالمؤمنینه، اون طرف یکی از همسران پیامبره. این طرف نماز خونن، اون ورم نماز خونن. این ور صحابی هن، اون ورم صحابی پیغمبرن. کار سخت میشه، فتنه میشه، مشکله. بله یه وقت هست ما مسجدی ها با یه گروهی که مثلا اینا آتئیست هستن، ایتیست هستن، خدا ناباورن دعوا داریم، اون موقع حق و باطل خیلی سخت نیست. ولی اگر مثلا این مسجد با یه مسجد دیگه تو همین شهر دعواش بشه، اون موقع حق و باطل کجاست؟ سخت میشه. لذا ما نیاز داریم به بصیرت، نیاز داریم به داشتن بینش، نیاز داریم به اینکه دانشمون در زمینه شناخت حق و شناخت باطل تقویت و تحکیم بشه. ملاک حق چیه؟ اول از همه قرآنه. قرآن ملاک حقه، بعدش سنت پیامبر اکرمه، بعد عقل سلیمه. اینا ملاک حقه. از همه اینها مهمتر وجود مبارک علی ابن ابی طالبه که فرمود علیون مع الحق و الحق مع العلی. اگه همه دنیا یه طرف وایساد، علی یه طرف وایساد، تو طرف علی وایسا. بعد جای دیگه گفت علیون مع القرآن و القرآن مع العلی. حقیقت ها با هم پیوند میخورن دیگه، حقایق به هم گره خوردن. و در زمان ما امام عصر و در زمان غیبت امام عصر علمای ربانی، نواب عام حضرت. ملاک حق چیه؟ نه حاج آقا من خودم مرجع تقلید خودم، از کسی هم دیگه تقلید نمی کنم، خودم میدونم، خودم بلدم، خودم میرم از شیخ گوگل سوالامو میپرسم، خودم مجتهد خودم هستم، نیاز به تقلید از کسی ندارم، نیاز به مراجعه ندارم، نیاز به نظرسنجی ندارم. ملاک حق قرآن سنته. و عرفت دنیا، دنیا رو بشناسه که به این آیه‌ای که تو قسمت انگلیسی بیان کردم میخوره. دنیا رو بشناسه. پنجمیش فرفضها، و اونو ردش کنه، دست رد به سینش بزنه. چیزی که دنیایی که فقط در خدمت دنیاست. ما با دنیایی که در خدمت آخرت باشد، با دنیایی که مزرعه آخرت باشد، با دنیایی که وسیله آباد کردن هم دنیا و هم آخرت باشد هیچ مشکلی نداریم. ما با دنیایی مشکل داریم که محصولش فقط و فقط و فقط همین دنیا باشد. و عرف الاخره فطلبها، و آخریش این که آخرت رو بشناسه و اون رو طلب بکنه. طلب بکنه یعنی چی؟ یعنی برنامه زندگیش رو در جهت اون آخرت بچینه، طلبش، خواستش عاقبت به خیری باشه. بهترین دعایی که این شبا تو این چند شب باقی مونده ماه رمضان که میدونید در ابواب رحمت الهی اول ماه رمضان باز میشه تا شب عید فطر بسته نمیشه. بعضیا فکر میکنن شب 23 تموم شد، دیگه تموم شد. هنوز فرصت هست، هنوز فرصت ویژه هست. فردا شب 27م، شبهای فرد دهه سوم، بالاخره شبی است که میشه احیا گرفت، میشه گرامی داشت، میشه به عبادت گذروند. شب داخل آخر هفتم هست. بالاخره یه توسلی، یه دعایی. ما نشد امسال با هم دیگه دعای ابی حمزه بخونیم. این دعای ابی حمزه دعای عجیبیه. ابی حمزه سومالی، این میراث گرانقدر امام سجاد. ان شاء الله وقتی سال دیگه ای کربلایی، نجفی با هم باشیم، مشهدی با هم باشیم، ان شاء الله با هم بخونیم این دعاها رو، این ادعیه رو، و روحمون به پرواز در بیاد. هرچه بگیم و هرچه بیان بکنیم مقدمه است که آخر منبرمون یه سلام بدیم به آقا و مولامون حضرت ابا عبدالله الحسین، که ایشالله این منبر ما رو، این نماز جماعت ما رو، این تجمع ما رو، افطار ما رو خداوند به احسن وجه از ما و از بانیان خیر قبول بکنه. السلام علیک یا ابا عبدالله و علی الارواح التي حلت بفنائک، علیک منی سلام الله ابدا ما بقیت و بقی اللیل و النهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد منی لزیارتکم all together. السلام علی الحسین و علی علی ابن اولاد الحسین و علی اصحاب الحسین. السلام علیکم یا اهل بیت النبوة جمیعا و رحمت الله و برکاته.